Das Vorlesesofa.
Dear Anwesenden, today I'm going to read in English for you the beginning of the short story Brokeback Mountain by Annie Proulx. Annis Del Mar wakes before 5, wind rocking the trailer, hissing in around the aluminum door and window frames. The shirts hanging on a nail shudder slightly in the draft. He gets up, scratching the gray wedge of belly and pubic hair, shuffles to the gas burner, pours leftover coffee in a chipped enamel pan. The flame swathes it in blue. He turns on the tap and urinates in the sink, pulls on his shirt and jeans, his warm boots, stamping the heels against the floor to get them full on. The wind booms down the curved length of the trailer, and under its roaring passage he can hear the scratching of fine gravel and sand. It could be bad on the highway with the horse trailer. He has to be packed and away from the place that morning. Again, the ranch is on the market, and they've shipped out the last of the horses, paid everybody off the day before, the owner saying, "Give 'em to the real estate shark. I'm out of here," dropping the keys in Annis's hand. He might have to stay with his married daughter until he picks up another job, yet he is suffused with a sense of pleasure because Jack Twist was in his dream. The stale coffee is boiling up, but he catches it before it goes over the side, pours it into his stained cup, and blows on the black liquid, lets a panel of the dream slide forward. If he does not force his attention on it, it might stoke the day, rewarm that old cold time on the mountain when they owned the world and nothing seemed wrong. The wind strikes the trailer like a load of dirt coming off a dump truck, eases, dies, leaves a temporary silence. They were raised on small, poor ranches in opposite corners of the state. Jack Twist in Lightning Flat up on the Montana border, Annis Del Mar from around Sage, near the Utah line. Both high school dropout country boys with no prospects, brought up to hard work and privation. Both rough-mannered, rough-spoken, inured to the stoic life. Annis, reared by his older brother and sister after their parents drove off the only curve on Dead Horse Road, leaving them $24 in cash and a 2-mortgage ranch. Applied at age 14 for a hardship license that let him make the hour-long trip from the ranch to the high school. The pickup was old, no heater, one windshield wiper, and bare tires. When the transmission went, there was no money to fix it. He had wanted to be a sophomore, felt the word carried a kind of distinction, but the truck broke down short of it, pitching him directly into ranch work. In 1963, when he met Jack Twist, Annis was engaged to Alma Beers. Both Jack and Annis claimed to be saving money for a small spread. In Annis's case, that meant a tobacco can with 2 $5 bills inside. That spring, hungry for any job, each had signed up with farm and ranch employment. They came together on a paper as herder and camp tender for the same sheep operation north of Signal. The summer ranch lay above the tree line on Forest Service land on Brokeback Mountain. It would be Jack Twist's second summer on the mountain, Annis's first. Neither of them was 20. They shook hands in the choky little trailer office in front of a table littered with scribbled papers, a bakelite, ashtray brimming with stubs. The Venetian blinds hung askew, and, amid the triangle of white light, the shadow of the foreman's hand moving into it, Joe Aguirre, wavy hair the color of cigarette ash, and parted down the middle, gave them his point of view. Forest Service got designated campsites on the allotments. Them camps can be a couple miles from where we pasture the sheep. Bad predator laws, nobody near looking after 'em at night. What I want, camp tender in the main camp where the Forest Service says, but the herder, pointing at Jack with a chop of his hand, pitch a pup tent on the QT with the sheep, out of sight, and he's gonna sleep there. Eat supper, breakfast in camp, but sleep with the sheep. 100%, no fire. Don't leave no sign. Roll up that tent every morning, 'cause Forest Service snoops around. Got the dogs. Your .30 to .30 sleep there. Last summer had goddamn near 25% loss. I don't want that again. You, he said to Ennis, taking in the ragged hair, the big nicked hands, the jeans torn, button gaping shirt. Fridays 12 noon, be down at the bridge with your next week list and mules. Somebody with supplies will be there in a pickup. He didn't ask if Ennis had a watch, but took a cheap brown ticker on a braid of corn from a box on a high shelf, wound and set it, tossed it to him as if he weren't worth the reach. Tomorrow morning, we'll truck you up the jump off. Pair of deuces going nowhere. They found a bar and drank beer through the afternoon. Jack telling Ennis about a lightning storm on the mountain the year before that killed 42 sheep. The peculiar stink of them and the way they bloated, the need for plenty of whiskey up there. He had shot an eagle, he said, turned his head to show the tail feather in his headband. The first glance Jack seemed fair enough with his curly hair and quick laugh, but for a small man he carried some weight in the haunch, and his smile disclosed buck teeth, not pronounced enough to let him eat popcorn out of the neck of a jug, but noticeable. He was infatuated with the rodeo life and fastened his belt with a minor bull-riding buckle, but his boots were worn to the quick, hold beyond repair, and he was crazy to be anywhere else than Lightning Flat. Ennis, high arched nose and narrow face, was scruffy and a little cave-chested, balanced a small torso on long caliper legs, possessed a muscular and supple body made for the horse and for fighting. His reflexes were uncommonly quick, and he was farsighted enough to dislike reading anything except Hamley's saddle catalog. The sheep trucks and horse trailers unloaded at the trailhead, and a bandy-legged Basque showed Ennis how to pack the mules. 2 packs and a riding load on each animal, ring-lashed with double diamonds and secured with half hitches, telling him, "Don't never order soup. Them boxes of soup are real bad to pack." 3 puppies belonging to one of the blue heelers went in a pack basket, the runt inside Jack's coat, for he loved a little dog. Ennis picked out a big chestnut called Cigarbutt to ride. Jack, a bay mare who turned out to have a low startle point. The string of spare horses included a mouse-colored Proulx, whose looks Ennis liked. Ennis and Jack, the dogs, horses, and mules, 1,000 ewes and their lambs flowed up the trail like dirty water through the timber and out above the tree line into the great flowery meadows and the cursing, endless wind. They got the big tent up at the Forest Service platform, the kitchen and grub boxes secured. Both slept and camped that first night, Jack already bitching about Joe Aguirre's sleep with the sheep and no fire order, though he saddled the bay mare in the dark morning without saying much. Dawn came glassy orange, stained from below by a gelatinous band of pale green. The sooty bulk of the mountain paled slowly until it was the same color as the smoke from Ennis's breakfast fire. The cold air sweetened. Banded pebbles and crumbs of soil cast sudden pencil-long shadows, and the rearing lodgepole pines below them massed in slabs of somber malachite. During the day, Ennis looked across a great gulf and sometimes saw Jack, a small dot moving across a high meadow as an insect moves across a tablecloth. Jack in his dark camp saw Ennis at nightfire, a red spark on the huge black mass of mountain. Well, excuse my English, but this is the beginning of Brokeback Mountain.